Welcome to Chronicles of History. Today, we embark on a journey into one of the world's most complex and enduring conflicts, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. When we examine historical conflicts, such as this, we gain insights into the world we live in today. We learn about the forces that have shaped nations, influenced policies, and continue to impact millions of lives. In this video, we'll unravel the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, peeling back layers of history, religion, and geopolitics. Together, we'll explore the reasons behind its complexity and the challenges it presents. We'll start with a historical overview, delve into the religious and cultural significance of the region, and discuss territorial disputes. We'll also explore the aspirations for nationalism and statehood, the refugee crisis, international involvement, security concerns, settlements, political divisions, and the pervasive lack of trust. So, if you're ready to uncover the layers of this intricate conflict and gain a deeper understanding of its origins and implications and why the situation has escalated to what it is today, let's begin our journey through history together. Historical background. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict begins in the late 19th century, a time when tensions in the region began to simmer, setting the stage for a conflict that would endure for generations. One pivotal moment was the Balfour Declaration of 1917, in which the British government expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This declaration stirred both hope and resentment among various communities in the region. Following World War, i.e. the League of Nations, granted Britain a mandate to govern Palestine. The British Mandate era, which lasted from 1920 to 1948, saw further tensions and disputes over the future of the land. These key events, among others, laid the groundwork for the conflict we witness today. To truly grasp the nuances of this struggle, we must continue our journey through history. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the religious and cultural significance of this region, exploring the connections that bind communities to this land. Religious and cultural significance. In this section, we journey into the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, exploring the religious and cultural significance of the region, with a special focus on the ancient city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, often called the City of Peace, holds profound importance for three major world religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. For Jews, Jerusalem is the holiest city, home to the Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple. This site is a symbol of their enduring connection to the land and their desire for a sovereign state. For Muslims, Jerusalem contains the Haram al-Sharif, or noble sanctuary, which includes the iconic Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque. These sites are revered in Islam, making Jerusalem the third holiest city in Islam. Christians, too, hold Jerusalem in deep reverence, as it's the location of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where many believe Jesus was crucified and buried. The significance of these religious sites cannot be overstated, and their proximity to one another has contributed to the complexity of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Throughout history, disputes over access to and control of these sacred sites have been a source of tension and conflict, with each religious group seeking to safeguard its heritage. Understanding the deep religious and cultural ties that bind these communities to Jerusalem is essential in comprehending the passionate emotions and convictions that continue to fuel the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In the next section, we'll explore the territorial disputes that have arisen from these profound connections to the land. Territorial disputes. As we continue our exploration of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we now turn our attention to one of its core issues, territorial disputes. This section will provide insights into the geographical aspects of the conflict and the competing claims to land and borders. The conflict is deeply intertwined with questions of territory and sovereignty. Historic Palestine, a region nestled in the eastern Mediterranean, has been the focal point of these disputes. Before 1948, the region was under British control, and the territory known as Palestine was home to a diverse population of Arabs and Jews, coexisting in various cities and towns. However, competing nationalisms emerged, with both Jewish and Palestinian Arab communities asserting their rights to the land. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan that aimed to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem as an international city. The plan was accepted by Jewish leaders, but rejected by Arab leaders, leading to tensions and eventually war. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War resulted in significant territorial changes, with Israel gaining control of a larger portion of historic Palestine, and Jordan and occupying the West Bank, Gaza Strip, respectively. The Six-Day War in 1967 led to further territorial changes, with Israel occupying the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. Israeli settlements, communities built in these occupied territories, have been a major point of contention as Palestinians see them as an obstacle to a future Palestinian state. Today, the borders and territories remain a central issue in peace negotiations, with both sides holding competing claims to the same land. In the next section, we'll explore the aspirations for nationalism and statehood that have shaped the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Nationalism and statehood. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of Jewish nationalism, known as Zionism. Zionists believed in the re-establishment of a Jewish homeland in historic Palestine. The First Zionist Congress in 1897 marked a pivotal moment in this movement, as Jewish leaders, led by Theodor Herzl, articulated their dream of a Jewish state. Over the years, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased, driven by the aspiration to build a Jewish homeland. On the other side, Palestinian nationalism also began to take shape. Palestinians, primarily Arabs, developed their own sense of identity and national consciousness. The tension between these two nationalistic aspirations came to a head in 1948 when the State of Israel was established, leading to a war that resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. This event, known to Palestinians as the Nakba, or catastrophe, remains a symbol of their struggle for statehood and self-determination. Today, Palestinians continue to seek international recognition and support for their quest to establish an independent Palestinian state, living side by side with Israel in peace. The desire for statehood and self-determination is a central theme in peace negotiations, and it continues to shape the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In the next section, we'll explore the ongoing challenges posed by the refugee crisis and the quest for the right of return. Refugee crisis. In this section, we shine a light on a poignant aspect of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the Palestinian refugee crisis. This humanitarian issue has left a lasting impact on generations of Palestinians. The conflict, particularly the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes, a tragic event known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Many Palestinians sought refuge in neighboring countries and were placed in refugee camps where they faced difficult living conditions and an uncertain future. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, was established to provide humanitarian assistance to Palestinian refugees, a mission it continues to this day. At the heart of the refugee crisis is the key, a symbol that represents the Palestinian right of return, the belief that refugees and their descendants have the right to return to their homes. The right of return is a deeply held aspiration among Palestinians, but it has also been a source of contention in peace negotiations, as it intersects with Israel's security concerns and demographic considerations. Finding a just and lasting solution to the refugee crisis remains one of the most challenging aspects of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Today, Palestinian refugees and their descendants are scattered across the Middle East and around the world, still holding on to the dream of returning to their ancestral homes. In the next section, we'll explore the significant role of international actors and organizations in mediating and influencing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. International involvement. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict takes us to a critical aspect, the role of international actors in shaping the course of this enduring struggle. Since the early 20th century, the international community, through organizations such as the United Nations, has played a significant role in addressing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The United Nations has passed numerous resolutions aimed at finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict, recognizing the rights of both Israelis and Palestinians. The United States, as a major global power, has been deeply involved in mediating the conflict. American leaders have pursued various initiatives and frameworks for peace. Throughout the decades, there have been several major peace initiatives, including the Camp David Accords, the Oslo Accords, the Madrid Conference, and the Roadmap for Peace. These initiatives have seen moments of hope, such as historic handshakes between leaders, and moments of disappointment as peace agreements remained elusive. The role of international actors, while crucial, has also faced criticism and challenges, with some arguing that the process has been marred by external interests and power imbalances. International organizations and peacekeeping missions have been deployed in the region to monitor ceasefires and provide humanitarian assistance. Today, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to be a focus of international diplomacy, with ongoing efforts to find a lasting and just solution. In the next section, we'll explore the security concerns that have shaped policies in the region and their impact on the conflict. Security concerns. One of the most pressing aspects of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict security concerns. These concerns have played a pivotal role in shaping policies in the region. Israel has cited security as a primary concern, particularly in light of historical conflicts and threats it has faced. This has led to the implementation of various security measures, including the construction of barriers and checkpoints. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, play a central role in maintaining security in Israel and the occupied territories, often conducting military operations and patrols. From the Palestinian perspective, these security measures are seen as oppressive, restricting freedom of movement and daily life. They argue that such policies infringe upon their rights and aspirations. The construction of Israeli settlements in the West Bank is another contentious issue. Israel argues that these settlements are necessary for its security, while Palestinians view them as illegal and a major obstacle to peace. Clashes at the border between Israel and Gaza, often involving rocket attacks and military responses, reflect the ongoing security challenges faced by both sides. Security concerns have been a key topic in peace negotiations, with Israel seeking assurances of its security and Palestinians advocating for the removal of perceived security barriers and the end of occupation. The separation wall in the West Bank, erected for security reasons, has had a profound impact on the lives of Palestinians, affecting their access to land, resources, and even basic services. Understanding the security concerns from both Israeli and Palestinian perspectives is essential in comprehending the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In the next section, we'll examine the issue of Israeli settlements and their impact on the prospects for a two-state solution. Settlements and West Bank. In this section, we turn our focus to one of the most contentious issues in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the establishment of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Israeli settlements are communities built by Israeli citizens in territories occupied by Israel since the 1967 Six-Day War, including the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Over the years, the growth of these settlements has been a source of significant tension and disagreement between Israelis and Palestinians. Israel has maintained that these settlements are necessary for security and strategic reasons, while many in the international community consider them illegal under international law. Palestinians view the settlements as an obstacle to a two-state solution, which envisions an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel. The presence of Israeli settlements in the West Bank has complicated peace negotiations, as they often lead to disputes over land, resources, and borders. These settlements have also resulted in a complex reality on the ground, with Israeli settlers living in close proximity to Palestinian communities, often leading to tensions and conflicts. The continued expansion of Israeli settlements remains a significant challenge to the viability of a two-state solution, as it fragments Palestinian territories and makes the establishment of a contiguous Palestinian state more difficult. Negotiating the future of these settlements and their impact on the region remains a central issue in peace talks and international diplomacy. In the next section, we'll explore the internal divisions among Palestinians and the challenges they pose to achieving unity and a unified leadership. Political divisions. The Palestinian territories consist of two main areas: the West Bank, controlled by the Palestinian Authority, and the Gaza Strip, governed by Hamas. These political divisions have their roots in a complex history of conflict and competing leadership. In the West Bank, the Palestinian Authority, led by President Mahmoud Abbas, administers civil and security matters in areas under its control. In Gaza, Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, seized control in 2007 following a violent conflict with the Palestinian Authority. Since then, it has governed the territory. The division has led to a lack of political unity among Palestinians, making it difficult to present a single, unified front in negotiations with Israel. This political divide has also resulted in separate systems of governance, border crossings, and security forces, creating a fractured Palestinian landscape. Achieving Palestinian unity remains a significant challenge, as reconciliation efforts have often stalled due to deep-seated grievances and mistrust between the two main Palestinian factions. The international community has repeatedly called for Palestinian unity as a necessary step toward achieving a negotiated peace settlement with Israel. These internal divisions among Palestinians continue to be a complex issue in the larger context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, impacting both the prospects for peace and the everyday lives of Palestinians. In the next section, we'll delve into the pervasive lack of trust between Israelis and Palestinians and the challenges it presents to finding a lasting solution. Lack of trust. Years of conflict, violence, and historical grievances have left deep scars, making it exceedingly difficult for Israelis and Palestinians to trust one another. Trust is an essential foundation for any successful negotiation or peace process. Yet, the long history of broken promises and unresolved issues has eroded the faith that each side has in the other's intentions. On both sides, there is a profound sense of injustice and victimhood, fueled by the loss of lives, displacement, and ongoing insecurity. Even when agreements are reached, as has happened in the past, implementation often falters due to mistrust and perceived violations. This lack of trust also impacts the daily lives of Palestinians and Israelis, contributing to the cycle of fear, suspicion, and hostility. Yet, there are individuals and groups on both sides who work tirelessly to promote dialogue, understanding, and reconciliation, fostering small pockets of trust in a sea of mistrust. Achieving a lasting peace will require overcoming this deep-seated lack of trust, a formidable challenge that remains at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Negotiating a path forward, building confidence, and restoring trust are monumental tasks that will demand sustained effort from all parties involved. While the road ahead is daunting, history has shown that trust can be rebuilt and conflicts can be resolved, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. In the concluding segment, we'll summarize the key points of our journey through the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Conclusion. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been a deep dive into a complex and enduring struggle, one that touches on history, religion, geopolitics, and deeply held aspirations. To recap, we've explored the historical background, the religious and cultural significance of the region, territorial disputes, nationalist aspirations, the refugee crisis, international involvement, security concerns, settlements, political divisions, and the pervasive lack of trust. What becomes abundantly clear is that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is anything but simple. Its complexities are woven into the very fabric of the land and the lives of those who call it home. We encourage you, our viewers, to seek further information, to read, to engage in constructive dialogue, and to strive for a deeper understanding of this multifaceted issue, rather than just passing judgment on the matter after watching mainstream media sources. The path to peace and resolution may seem daunting, but history has shown that dialogue, empathy, and compromise can lead to progress, even in the face of adversity. As we conclude this exploration, we remind you that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not just a matter of history. It's a challenge for our present and a call to action for a better future. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share our channel for more educational content on history and complex global issues.